Yo, what's going on, guys? Frankietrades here, bringing you another top weekly watch list. You guys know I'm bringing here every Sunday. You guys know where to be, so don't forget to turn on that bell notification so you guys get the recent updates on any video that I post. Let's go ahead and dive deep into it. Looking into this week at the weekly economics calendar, it looks like we have CPI on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. or 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Excuse me. PPI on Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and then we have an FOMC announcement actually on Wednesday. So just looking at that, that's going to be the highlight of the week there. If you guys don't know what FOMC announcement is, it's basically the Feds announcing either a rate hikes that are going to go up, so, or if anything's going to change with that. So that's pretty important. It affects the market a lot, so could expect a lot of choppiness this week. Usually on these kinds of weeks, there's a lot of chop until that announcement comes out. So just be careful, be on your toes, stay size down. No reason to be aggressive unless you see an opportunity come about. Best just to be on the defensive side with that. So we have that. On Thursday, we have jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. That's about it as important news. So yeah, that's about it there. Retail sales at 8:30 May Eastern as well. So, and then on Friday, we actually have quad witching on Friday. So that's not too much of a big one. And then we also have consumer sentiment as well on Friday. For those who don't know what quad witching is, you'll have to use Google. You know, that's my best friend when I had to look these things up myself too. But just for a lot of the new people, it's basically just every index option expiring on the same day. So that's what it's called, a quad witching. The NQ futures index, ES future index expires, and there's two more. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. Like I said, Google's your best friend. You can look those up, but that's pretty much what quad witching is. So, but yeah, that is pretty much it for economic news that I see here. I'll start letting you guys know more about that. So make sure to write those down and keep in the back of your head so you know what to expect on this week. So you guys know where I like to start going off into the watch list is NQ. The only things that I really am watching NQ, I don't see any trend lines. I don't see anything really getting into the way. The only thing that I really see that we should really be paying attention to is 14,700 on NQ. You can see we've had a double rejection up there, and then a rejection actually at 14,675. The real level to look at though is 14,700. With FOMC announcements this week, it's hard to judge if NQ is in a stance to kind of come up and break this. You never know in these kinds of weeks, but I will be looking at the upside with this. So that is pretty much it for NQ for me. We can go over to ES. We can see that the level previously that we were looking at last week at the 43.27 area, we actually rejected 2 points off of there this week. I think it was on Friday actually. Yeah. Yep. 2 points off of that 43.27 area. So first level I'm watching the ES is that 43.27 area, and the next is that 43.50 area. So I'm going to be watching those two levels for the market index and see where we go from there. So you guys can pretty much see we're kind of at a double top right now in the market, with NQ being at its own double top, and so is ES. So that being said, let's go ahead and go over to our watch list, because I know you guys are excited about that. You guys can see it there on the side anyways, but I'll get into the numbers. So first things first is AMD. Not the craziest setup, but it's a setup that I do like. If you guys go on the daily, which I'll go on the daily actually before I show you guys this on the 30-minute where I found this, you can see we actually have a $1 gap here. So if you go to the smaller time frames, specifically the 30-minute, you can see that we made a double bottom here at 123.55, or roughly around this 123.50 area, and we have a gap all the way down to 122.21. So I'm going to be looking for a quick breakdown from 123.50 into 123 and below that. So it's going to be a quick trade if AMD is pretty weak. If it's weak tomorrow morning on Monday, it's worth watching. It's something I like. So next up is BA. This is probably going to be one of my. It's definitely a top watch list for me. Reason being is I did cover this last week. It's a lot easier if you see it on the weekly chart. Is that we are currently in a weekly multiple month long consolidation now. Looks like we're finally breaking out to the upside. Lots of bullish movement the past week. I did catch it a bit this week. It did catch me Friday though. Ended up being red on it, taking an early entry on it, breaking a rule of mine. But looking to take my trade on this if this happens to come up at 219. I do like the 219 as a level. This happens to pick any momentum up from right there. That's what I ended up seeing on Friday. Ended up getting caught out. Oh, totally okay. Kept good risk management on that. But the big thing to note is first level I'm watching is 219. After that, I'll be watching 220. And then after that, I will be watching 221. So pretty simple trade. It's a weekly consolidation breakout, so it could be a big move. We just got to be on the lookout for its momentum and strength going into those 3 levels there. So all pretty close to each other, but like I said, they're all pretty important. So that is what I am watching on BA. Baba, you guys haven't seen me actually chart out Baba, and I won't say chart out, but actually have this on my watch list. It's just because there hasn't been anything to really look at on this, if I'm being honest. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm looking at though. If you go on the daily chart on Baba, we actually have a daily downtrend that we've rejected off of multiple times, and we actually rejected it off of it again on Friday. So first thing I'll be looking at is this 87 flat top that we actually created this current week that we were just in. But I will be looking at 87 for a breakout into 88. Pretty small level that I'm looking to get in and then kind of get out. The whole reason behind this trade and why I like it is it's a daily setup, so we have room for this trade to really just kind of go in our favor to the upside if it ends up breaking that daily downtrend with some volume and momentum. This is a congested level, so it is something to keep in mind that if you start to see volume slow down, maybe it's best just kind of start scaling now or kind of maybe get out of your position. So you guys probably will see a live trade on this, red or green, like just because of the whole setup and how it looks, why I like it. But this is one of my key setups for Baba. So daily downtrend with a flat top across 87. That's why I like this setup. And then last but not least off the main watch list is Tesla. Let me show you guys why. Same thing with AMD. If you guys go to the 1 year 1 day on Tesla here, you can see we created a gap. This is from Thursday to Friday when I think General Motors made an announcement that they'll be adjusting to the Tesla chargers. Obviously big news for Tesla because that means more money for them. So, and it's a whole another market of cars going into Tesla's pockets right there with them using their chargers. So obviously a lot of good positivity right there. First thing I'm going to be looking at now that you guys know that gap is there at the bottom, let me get rid of this first, is I'll be watching the 242 bottom and then watching that into 240. Reason being, 242 is a good area to look at. I think they rejected there 3 times on the 1 minute. All relatively close to each other, but when Tesla can pick up weakness, this thing can really fall down. Yeah, rejected 3 times around 242. So I'm going to be watching 242 into 240. That's a pretty good area to look at on Tesla, more than enough for me to catch. If it ends up showing some more weakness, I'll probably catch some more scalps on the way down there. But $7 gap with a flat bottom at 242. So pretty key setup there on Tesla. And for my side watches, you guys know I like to show my side watches, is Netflix. Netflix is one. There's not really a certain area that I'm looking at. The only reason I say that is because Netflix had a lot of news come out, I think Friday, I believe, either Friday or Saturday, that their subscriber numbers have actually spiked dramatically because of the password crackdown. Meaning more people are subscribing to Netflix again because they can't share their passwords because they're going to be getting charged extra more than they normally would. And so it's just better to subscribe yourself for it. So Netflix, the only area I'm really looking at is maybe 430 if this happens to gap up. If this tends to gap up a lot more, then I'll make an update on Twitter possibly on that and on my Instagram. Social media links are in the description below for that, by the way. So if you guys are interested in following for any daily updates, there's that. The other thing that I do want to point out on Netflix is, if this happens to gap up, is we actually have around a $50 gap to the upside. So like I said, it's a side watch. None of this is really too close. I'm kind of just speculating on where the news could take us or could take us. So I'll be watching 430, but we have a gap starting at 458.48 and then ends at 507. So there's that for you guys. And then last but not least is NVIDIA. Not too much here. Like I said, it's a side watch, so not too much excitement or key areas right here on NVIDIA. Only areas that I'm really interested on is 375, in that trading that into 375 or 373.56, and then to the upside, I'm really only interested maybe at 400 again if it sets up around there, or 405. It's far away from both sides. so not really looking at too much here. I do like the areas though on the video, but like I said, side watch, not going to be paying too much attention to it just because it's far away from both sides. So but yeah, that's pretty much it for my weekly watches, guys. Like I said, I like keeping these simple, straight to the point, and then going over the economic calendar with you guys and letting you guys know what's going on through the week and what things to be on the alert of. Like I said, you can rewind, go back to the beginning of the video. I went over what days certain announcements are, which days to look out for. This week's kind of expected to be more choppy, so just be on your toes, be more defensive. No need to be too aggressive unless an opportunity comes about that you like. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment so the algorithm picks it up and supports the channel. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your, or I guess what's the left of your weekend, and hope you guys kill it this week. Peace.